Alright, end of the year. I'm Pascal from Orangepixel, and this is my end of year review for Orangepixel. Pretty much my company, the business. A few quick facts for those that are new to the channel. Orangepixel, I founded it in 2004. Currently working on my 77 a lot of commercial, I'll just put it on the screen. A lot of commercial games released as Orangepixel, did more games, but not going into that. Current game is Regulated City. Last game was Residual, released this last year, so I'm going to talk about that in a bit. These videos I just try to talk about how the past year went. Of course, talk a little bit about financials, because that's very important. If the financials aren't there, this is also going to be the last video, because then I'll just end Orangepixel and have to do something else. Luckily, spoiler alert, I don't have to do something else. I'll dive into that. I had a list of ideas and topics I want to talk about. There's like millions of things I could talk and would want to talk about, but that would be way too much and nobody wants to sit here for a couple of hours, because this video is going live Christmas Eve, I guess, for the day before Christmas. So I'm not even sure if anybody's watching. I can't see you, so I don't know, but I hope somebody's watching. After the intro, we'll talk about some of the topics. I'll grab my list and we'll cover some key aspects. One of those will of course be games, because I'm still a game developer first, YouTuber second. Unlike some other YouTubers, I actually release games. Of course, business stuff. There's a bunch of business stuff, and social media, marketing, everything around that, including YouTube. Those are pretty much the three main topics that I want to talk about. So let's do the intro. Now get comfortable, you get comfortable, and we're gonna dive deep. Well, not that deep, but we're gonna dive into some stuff. See you after the intro. Alright, list at hand, let's talk. And of course, one thing is on everybody's mind. Revenue, sales, all that stuff. Every year I mention this. I'm going to do it very quickly. If you want to know more, check back the previous videos. My goal is to make between 50 and 60k a year, euros. Everything below that is going to be very problematic, because that's just not going to be enough to live and survive on in the Netherlands. Everything above that is great, but it also just means I pay more taxes over it, because there's these tires and whole system. So 50 to 60 is comfortable living, and also less stress, and I can push games and sales and discounts to the next year and not have to worry about those type of things. So this year, yeah, I made it comfortably between 50 and 60, closer to the 60 than the 50. The split is, I got it on my screen, I'll put it over here somewhere for you guys. As you can see, PC and mobile, for me, mobile is still bigger. But PC this year came a very good second and almost overtook mobile. There are some notes to that. Of course, I had only Residual launched this year as a PC game and on Switch, not on mobile yet. And it was also kickstarted in the year before that. But of course, I also had a publisher, and there are some deals with the publisher. So some of that PC revenue comes from the publisher. The yellow gap is Switch. This is after the split. Of course, I split my revenue on Switch with Serious Lion, who does the porting for me. It's a equal partnership, 50-50. So this is after that split, and this doesn't include Residual. This is really just all the Orangepixel existing games, the catalog, all the games we already have ported. Those did pretty well. To be honest, during the year I saw the numbers and I thought it was very low, but now that I look at it, and Serious Lion mentioned it last week to me, it wasn't that bad actually, and we have more games to come, and of course also Xbox, PlayStation. So console games are interesting for sure. Then we have a YouTube, tiny part, but if you compare this to last year, it would not have even shown on this pie chart. So interesting thing, gonna talk about that in a minute. YouTube was very interesting this year, and the rest is pretty much a bunch of things like, let me show you this one. The iArcade, so it's a bit dark here, but the iArcade console is doing, of course, I have all my games on there. I could probably also throw that on mobile, because it's the Android version of my games, but I didn't think that would really be right. So it's the iArcade, it's also ad revenue here and there, merchandising sales, very tiny part, but still. Just a bunch of different things all thrown into the rest part. The whole mobile part, 42.2%, has been my back catalog. So that's mostly discounts and sales on existing games, pushing the Android version to different markets besides Google Play. I haven't really checked, but I think more than 50% of this, I would bet like 60-70% is Android and 30% is iOS. Because I haven't released games and doing sales or discounts on iOS doesn't really do much. So iOS is really like, I'm at now 200 or 300 a month from iOS sales. And some of my games have been disabled because I haven't been updating them to the new guidelines and new versions of iOS, and they pretty much are starting to vanish. I might update them this year if I find time to just update everything to the new versions, but I want to go more towards PC and forget about mobile a bit more, because it's just very hard work and a lot of work to keep these things updated. But on the other hand, that big orange part on the pie chart is not change money or not pennies or cents. It's a lot. So there's still, it's a struggle for me to, I can't just drop it because it's still worth a lot of money to keep that stuff going. I'm somewhere in between that switch, as you can see on this pie chart, that the PC and console are gaining on my mobile revenue. And if I can turn it all around so that I don't really have to focus on mobile revenue, it might still be 1 or 2 years from now, but it is coming, hopefully. So that's revenue. That's enough business for now. Let's talk about the games, or in this case, the game. All right, games. This year, just one game, Residual. First game I released with a publisher, Apogee, coming back. All that stuff has been talked about on the channel, so make sure to check all my previous videos. It's still gonna come to Xbox and PlayStation. We have it almost up and running for that. Pretty much, we're just waiting to get all the backend and all that stuff set up correctly on console and publisher side. So probably next year. Also looking into mobile versions, and of course I'm also going to be pushing updates, hopefully, if I can find the time, and I got a bunch of cool ideas for it, so I don't want to say it's done and completed. I think there's still going to be some updates that will push the game into much bigger territory, so that's hopefully coming next year. Other than that, I've released a game on Discord, the XP RPG. It's a channel where you can gain experience points and rank up, level up, all that stuff. It's been a lot of fun to toy with that. I guess it's some sort of game I released. And besides that, I've been working on Regulator City for the last 6 months. It's gonna be another 6 months, 5-6 months until it releases. Now I usually release 2 or maybe 3 games a year. This has changed a little bit now, that it's just because everything with the publisher, it just works differently. Doing localization, doing a bunch of testing with a testing team somewhere in India. Thank you guys if you're watching the channel. Then porting it to Switch so that we could release it combined, and then doing different trailers, and it's just been a different ride. And now that I know how those things go, next game will be more smoothly, or I will be more capable of planning things around it and focus on 2 things while working on one game, finishing up the other game. So been a fun learning experience, and hopefully we will be repeating it next year, but I'll have to talk to Apogee about that. So Apogee, I will be talking to you guys very soon, probably. Okay, so games can be checked off, business can be checked off pretty much, money, that's the only thing you care about. What else do I have on the list? Oh yeah. Oh, we should talk about that. So at the beginning of the year, I made my plan video for 2022. One of my plans was to find cooperation with somebody and create a game with that person. I found a couple of people interested. One person, we talked and we tried a little bit, and we were about to start working on something, but it just didn't go anywhere. Which happens, that's okay, that's fine. And for me, this is day-to-day stuff, my job, this is my work. I'm very serious about it because it has to be done, or else I have a problem. For many other people, it's more of a hobby or something besides doing their normal day-to-day job. They wanted to do something with games. That's just not gonna be a great mix. Well, As you can see by the result, there is nothing there. However, I also had an intern, and this was his second internship the last couple of months. The first one was during Residual, but was at the end tail of Residual. So he only got to do a couple of things here and there because most of the stuff was already done and drawn by me. Now he got to work on Regulator City pretty much from the start. I think in his first internship I was already working on that game, so his second internship pretty much continued there, and it evolved more into like a partnership and less me being his teaching job type thing and telling him what to do. Well, I still tell him what to do, but there's more of a cooperation there, and he has a lot of creativity to put into it. If he has ideas, throw them there and throw them into it, and we'll see if it works or not. So that's been more of a partnership, and I like to do business things, fair business, and this is just 80 or 90% of the art right now is maybe done by him, 85, something like that. There will be more art done by me eventually, but he has to get something out of that. So once Regulator City starts selling copies, there will be money coming to him, because you gotta do fair business with everybody you work with. Like I do with Serious Lion and our mobile ports. Be fair, be good to everybody, and I think eventually that will pay off. I guess I did manage to do a good partnership. It was just starting out as an internship and evolved into working together on a game. And I will continue next year trying to do a partnership with Serious Lion, Friedel, who does the porting of all my games to Switch, but we want to do a game together. So next year we have a couple of ideas, and we've been talking about it on the Discord, so you might have already picked up on it. Hopefully we will be doing a fun game next year besides Regulator City. So more partnerships, I'm all for it. So that leaves me with social media and marketing and everything. I did some changes to the newsletter, including a free manual for Residual and a free gaming book from Orangepixel, talking about cheat codes and stuff like that in my games that you can use to unlock stuff. It went well for a while, pushing out interesting newsletters, and at some point I just stopped. Residual got launched, and then I kind of forgot or didn't know what to talk about. And of course, Regulator City, the last couple of months I've been working on that game so much, just trying to get it on track, that everything else around it kind of fell into the wasteland. But the first half of the year it was all going pretty well. Haven't really tracked social media numbers, but I know Orangepixel grew, my own account grew, Orange Pascal. Instagram, a lot of stories in the early part of the year. I completely forgot to post stories, and most of that is all to blame on Regulator City. It's just been very difficult getting that game to the point where it is now. It will be a lot easier now. We'll have more time and more energy to do all those things, because it's hard. Social media marketing is just a lot of work, a lot of very hard work. It's, even though it's just posting stuff, but posting stuff consistently is tough. So yeah, gonna improve on that again next year, and I will send out a newsletter maybe even before the video goes live, because I just want to end up the year and wrap up the year and tell everybody, hey, I'm still here, new game coming next year, all that stuff. So yeah, social media, it went very good, and then it just vanished into thin air a bit for me, except YouTube, of course. This has seen a lot of growth. Just the pie chart back on screen somewhere, that percentage. Sponsorships, I now had a couple of videos sponsored, even though my channel is fairly small. I find it very small still. We're now nearing the 10k subscribers, but I had some sponsorships, and those are very interesting things to do. So hopefully next year even more of those, and of course as the channel grows I can ask more for those sponsorships, because I'll be reaching out to more people. So YouTube starting to, well, what once started as a hobby now turns into a little bit of a business on top of the business. And even that business, Orangepixel, started out somewhat as a hobby, just fun projects, and turned out into a business. So I should probably find a new hobby that simply cannot be turned into any business. these videos are a lot of talking. They're fun to do. I know a bunch of people want to hear all these things and know about all these things. So for those people, here are these type of videos. But it's a lot of talking, and I think I'm forgetting like a million things I wanted to cover, but I simply can't cover it all because then the video just takes way too long and I'll even bore myself out of these videos. So I think this is pretty much it. If I missed anything, please drop questions below in the comments. I'll answer everything, or I'll try to answer everything, and might not be the answer you want to hear, but I'll check all the comments and drop some answers here and there. I think I covered almost everything, or at least the important stuff. And yeah, I think that's it for this year, this end of this season of videos. Of course, next week we'll just start the next season with my plans for the next year. And after that, devlogs. I have a tech talk coming up. I want to do more videos and maybe even do I'll play your game type of videos. Although I don't want to become a YouTuber, I still want to be a game developer. But I think I could bring in some interesting views on other people's games and maybe help you with tips and tricks. And in the meantime, we'll be able to fill my channel and grow my channel by playing your game. So that's gonna be maybe something I'll do next year, but we'll see. For now, this is it. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment below. And it's a wrap. I'm ending the year here.